lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this, my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below the video. We're joined by Spec and Anthony. I'll see if I can get their attention. Where did Karen go?
She had to switch accounts, I think.
Oh, right. Presumably that was one of her kids' accounts.
Right. Toad.
Yeah. A bit of a teeny bopper name to call yourself on YouTube. A Spec.
Right.
A Spec.
Yeah. I was thinking if you want to talk later today, maybe later, much later, but I had some ideas for you that might help you with generating some new subs.
Right. I'm always up for that.
Yeah, I think right now you're kind of plateauing, but I think that with some small moves, I think you might be able to increase at least 10 to 15% by the end of the month.
Oh, okay. I'm well up for that. Yes, please. Yeah, once the show's over, just let me know.
Okay, cool.
When you're free, I'm definitely up for that.
I also meant to ask you, what video software are you using right now?
To run the show?
To edit your, I guess they're non-live shows, or to compose them afterwards.
Well, what I was using was the iPad Pro, but it's broken. It's coming back on Monday. So subsequently it's well over a month now that he's had it to repair it, but I haven't really put out any short edited videos. Now, I do have on the PC, and it was the primary reason I spec'd the PC the way I did, a very good, well, I don't know if it's very good in consideration, I've not got any others to compare it to, but what was rated as a very good piece of editing software called Pinnacle, and I absolutely despise it. It's just like every other PC editing software I've ever used ever, in the respect that it's horrendous. It just looks like most of them. But on the iPad they've got iMovie, and iMovie is superb from a productivity point of view. You can rattle off a movie in absolutely no time. You can rattle off a trailer in 2 minutes. And it was Jaron that put me onto it. So Jaron was getting stick for his first ever video being too good. Like, presumably people claiming he's some sort of shill because his videos were too good. So he showed how he made it, and it was on iMovie, and he rattled off a trailer in like 2 minutes. And I was like, wow, if it's that easy, I'll do that. So I went on to look, and sure enough, iMovie was like no other editing software I'd seen before. Yeah, it's got the basics, but that's why it's good. It's so stripped down, so intuitive, and so rapid to just rattle off stuff. But you'd think on an iPad with a mobile device processor versus a £1,000 PC with a £400 or £500 processor and a how much it costs, £500 or £600 graphics card and £100 worth of editing software, you'd think that would be superior, right? Nope.
Yeah, the rendering. I guess Apple, the iMovie app that they have is a derivative of a commercial software that they used to use in like big studios. So I'm sure it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's just smooth. So, having a good graphics card in the PC means that as you're scrubbing through things, you don't get any delay. That's nice, but that's all down to the PC, how good it is. But in terms of actually using it and producing something with it, just little things will slow you down by 10 or 15 minutes. And when you want to rattle off a video, it ends up being hours, if not days, on editing software. Whereas it's minutes, if not hours, if you're doing it on the iPad. So it's a no-brainer. It's like every time I want to actually do it, I'm not going to go to the computer. There's been certain things I've had to do on the computer for various reasons. And sure enough, I've ended up with a 2-minute video that's taken me 3 days to produce. And you're like, you can't do that.
Yeah, is the rendering time reasonable?
No,
because I remember when I used to do my shows, and then I would download them and edit them. The rendering times were like triple of what the length of the video actually was.
Oh no, not at all. This machine will render it in absolutely no time. It's super fast at rendering. Once I've edited it and send it to render, you can go make a cup of coffee, come back and it's rendered. It's super quick. But it's just the actual putting together a video in the software itself. It might be the case that if I found a different piece of software, but I've used plenty of editing softwares, and they're all pretty much of a muchness on a PC, and you can't buy iMovie on a PC, so it's a Mac product, and it's good. It's slightly better on an iPad than it is on an iPhone. It's got more features. And it's slightly better on an iMac than it is on an iPad. Again, it's got a few more features. But they're all pretty much exactly the same, give or take. And it just gives you the stuff you actually need.
When I started making videos, I started with iMovie.
What do you use now?
Now I use Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere.
Which are basically the industry standards. That's what they use, right?
Yeah.
And those are all subscription based now, right? You can't like actually purchase a product and download it. It's all like you pay monthly or yearly or something.
Yeah, they have the Adobe Suite on a subscription basis, but I pirate stuff, so I don't pay for anything.
I've been trying to find decent software like that, but every time I end up with like malware or something like that.
Yeah, that's not as big of a problem on Macs as it is on PCs. What I'll do is I'll just go on YouTube and I'll search, whatever software I'm looking for, cracked version or free version. And then I just look at the comments and people will be like, yeah, it worked. No viruses, blah, 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 whatever. And then that's the one I'll use.
Oh, right on. By the way, I watched your video on your interview and that was excellent.
Yeah, check it out. That was awesome. Very good. Warmed my heart when I was hearing you.
I don't know how you responded so properly. I mean, it is very coherent.
Yeah, well, it was pre-recorded, so it was like there was no pressure. Probably is why it was so easy. I don't know. Good practice, I guess.
Yeah, but you were asking all the right questions. I can't think of a specific example, but you're asking for scientific evidence. It was hinged around the scientific method. I was just like, yeah, ace. It's good to hear people saying that stuff.
Yeah, because she was asking me stupid shit like, what if Neil deGrasse Tyson told you himself, blah, 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 whatever she was saying, and I was like, oh my God. What if Buzz Aldrin himself came and showed you proof that he went to the moon?
That's comparable to
you pulled it out and you said that's an appeal of authority. You know what I mean? You just squashed it, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
It's also
it was funny too. She asked me what an appeal to authority was.
It contrasts with people who said something along the lines of, "What if the Pope told you that Jesus was real?" You're like, "Oh right, so suddenly because the Pope's telling me, Neil deGrasse Tyson must be trusted." No.
Yeah. That's a good response.
I also enjoyed the fact that like some of the stuff that Nathan's been doing with the logical scientific method. You mentioned that as well, and it kind of like was coherent with what it happens on the Flat Earth Debate show. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and they didn't put any of that stuff in the interview they released. None of it.
Really? I didn't actually watch it. I watched it on your channel, as opposed to on National Geographic, or was it BBC or National Geographic?
It was BBC.
Right.
It was they did it on. It was the radio. It was BBC Radio. So they didn't. It wasn't on like their network or anything.
Okay.
Where can you find that? Like the actual edited version or whatever?
Well, I put it up on my channel. I downloaded it and I put it up on my channel as they released it. Because
how did you get the lead?
Huh?
Who was it? I often get sent things like that from Mark Sargent, and I'll follow him up, but I don't necessarily get a response back. Was it Mark that sent it to you by any chance?
No, actually, Haunted House sent it to me because I asked them to let me know when they released it, and of course they didn't because they chopped it all up and put out that ridiculous piece. So they probably were like, I'm not going to send it to her or whatever. But Haunted House messaged me. He was like, I'm listening to NPR and you're on the radio. He's like, is this you? He's like, this is so weird. And I
That's
was like, oh,
ace.
they released it? I'm like, send it to me. So he did.
So Karen, you're part of the FE core stuff. I've been meaning to ask Bob if like he needs a software developer because that's what I do for a trade. I didn't know if you had any ties to what you guys might need or anything like that.
Yeah, I do. Do we need a software developer? I don't know. I can let them know that there is someone who is a software developer in case we need it.
Yeah, I just figured I'd offer.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. We also like if you go to the website or you email learn more at fecore.org, then you can say, hey, I do such and such work. I can volunteer my time doing this. And then we keep all that stuff in the database.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out.
Sweet.
Morning, everybody. Spec, Karen, Nathan, Riley, good people of Flat Earth.
What's up, Jose?
Hey, Jose.
Riley, I heard your special guest appearance in Slice Sparking. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he won't concede that he's got stuff wrong no matter what. He'll argue his position and denounce mine. I mean, did you notice that meanings of words are only important when he needs them, but when I need them, he doesn't want to?
Yeah. What pissed me off is his go-to is modeling things. It's like the Rumpus format. The Rumpus has to match everything. The Sly Parking guy, he has to model everything. So if he doesn't conform to his model, if he cannot model it, it cannot be real or some shit like that. It's just, oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and his model didn't have the Earth's atmosphere in it, and we know that the atmosphere does do some trippy shit. And he refuses to accept that it matches his observation devoid of an atmosphere. He says, yeah, it doesn't have the atmosphere in, but it fits well without the atmosphere, so I'm having it. And I'm like, no, show what the atmosphere effect is.
And misrepresentation right in your face. You're saying something, and you say, no, this is what I'm saying. A, B, C, D. And he say, oh, yeah, so D, C, B, A. You go, no, A, B, C, D. He say, all right, A, B, D, C. You go, son of a bitch, I'm telling you in your face what and you're misinterpreting me, just like Sean Hofer. I give it that, man. Them guys don't know how to verbatim, say something forward, repeat something that you say. They just have to misinterpret it.
The thing that bugs me is Sly knows that I'm right, but he'll argue that I'm wrong anyway. And his dopey bastard fans don't realize that Sly's wrong. They believe him because they're all holding his willy. But it's dishonest. It's like, Sly, this is not fucking right. But he'll push it because he believes that. Well, I don't know whether no, I don't think he does believe it. I think he knows, but it's the same as conspiracy cats. They know that their shit's wrong, but they'll still push it as true. It's just intellectually dishonest.
Well, it seems to me that it's the affirming the consequent. You know what I mean? They start with what they believe, and then they work backwards, and they don't even see that, or they just don't recognize that that's what they're doing. I don't understand logically how they formulate their scientific conclusions based on that.
And he tried to trick you with some questions, and you did good. You were like, yeah, I mean, I agree. The answers. No, I don't agree with like, the big picture, like the Earth is a ball or whatever. But for the sake of argument, yeah. And then when he tried to throw you the trick question, you go like, no, hell no, I don't accept that. So that's cool. Yeah, you got to stand your ground, bro.
Yeah, he doesn't want me to use his own model against him, because if I use his own model against him, that means that I accept his model.
Yeah, models. That was all about modeling shit. And then they don't entertain the idea about the Riley's criteria and Airy's diffraction and the angle you view in it. You're closer to the ground, so it's going to be squashed, it's compressing the bottom and all this shit that is being shown that is a real thing. But because they don't find it in a optics books and citation and all books, they don't want to use none of this, even though it's been.
Oh, Jose.
He dropped mid-sentence. 3 minutes and we're starting.
Oops.
Hey, Jose. No sound.
I wanted to be part of this very Masonic episode. Boom.
I used your title. Yours ended up being the best one.
That's nice.
What was the title?
Nathan Oakley. Illuminati confirmed.
Get in here now. In. Get in. Get on that bed now.
It says Nathan Oakley conformed.
Oh, bollocks. Good job you're on the ball.
Typo. I call that the thick finger syndrome. Try to type something and throw something else. Hi, Karen. You did like a 3-hour hangout a few days ago, right?
Yeah, that went way longer than I expected it to. But I invited Rodrigo on, and he talks a lot. But he's a really cool guy, and he's brilliant. So I didn't mind.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I work nighttime, and I listen to the shows that happen throughout the day, and I choose the longest shows. And if there's nothing longer than 10, 15 minutes, then I re-listen to the flatter debate shows. So I see you got the long hangout. I go like, oh, this is it. I put a 1.25 speed, and yeah, it lasted like 2 hours, like 2 hours and a half anyway. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. Good talks.
Right, 1 minute.
Who do we have in the panel? Mason, Shields, Illuminatis, Reptilians, Agents. Everybody's in the panel today.
What?
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below the video. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, Spec, Sleeping Warrior, Karen B, Jose, and Eric. Good to have you all.
Hello, hello, hello. What? Yeehaw.
Good morning, for me, anyway.
Good morning, good
Buenos
morning.
dias.
Buenos dias. Do a bit of housekeeping. Anybody object?
Yes, bring it on.
Oh, we've got Arwin. How you doing, Arwin? You hear me?
Yeah.
Good to have you. Right, let's do a bit of housekeeping. Any signs of curvature?
Nope.
No? None?
No.
Shock horror. Any signs of axial rotation?
Not of the Earth-based variety.
Anybody? Anybody at all?
No.
None that I've witnessed or felt.
There's absolutely no evidence of. Did you say what are we on here? Curvature, or axial?
Axial rotation.
Yeah, there's no evidence of axial rotation. Nothing. No gyroscope show it. Nobody's been into space to be able to prove that we're spinning. It's nonsense.
Stationary.
About the distance to the sun.
No, there's no distance to the sun.
There is no distance to the sun. That's quite right.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Definitely no evidence whatsoever of gravity.
No.
Let's
That's a
remind-
very widespread aberration. It's not over yet, but as far as can be determined, it's not
Let's remind people.
in its current version, at least, and especially the Balder version. It's not gonna. Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Arwin, you know that pausey thing when you hold your breath for just long enough to make people think that you've stopped talking? You were doing it again then. Anyway, let's remind people that Cavendish himself quantified the effects of gravity as 1/50 millionth of the mass of the object in hand. 1/50 millionth. Let that sink in.
It's
Okay,
only
sinking.
if you go by the theory that it is actually caused by mass. So
Any evidence of a...
I think that Einsteinian gravity doesn't necessarily say that at all.
Nathan, just to let you know, you had conformed instead of confirmed, and if you were wanting to put confirmed on your...
Yes, it has been changed.
Got it.
Could be conformed. Illuminati conformed, right?
Yeah, I saw that. When I started saying it, I thought, oh, I guess he could have gone that way.
Yeah, it was definitely an error. It's been changed. Illuminati confirmed. Because it's very important we get that right? Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
No.
Definitely
Complete
not.
fantasy story. Myth.
Any evidence that you can have a pressurized system next to a vacuum without a container?
Never.
Don't be a moron, Nathan.
Say again?
Don't be a moron. You can't have a pressurized system next to a non-pressurized system without a container.
It's not my
Not
belief.
for long, anyway.
Not my belief. I don't think there's a vacuum of space. I think it's complete nonsense. The entire medium is ridiculous, but they claim to have spaceships and rockets and are travelling to
You'd
these
probably
lights
a
in the
moron
sky.
to think that you could do this, though. I mean, come on, people, wake up.
Yeah, you can't have gas pressure without a container. We definitely have gas pressure here on Earth. Space is claimed to be a vacuum. Well, that defies the second law of thermodynamics. Pressure needs something to press upon. Will it press upon a vacuum? No, it'll dissipate into it. So, there you go. Any scientific... No, any evidence of R? The R value?
R.
No.
No? That's it then. That sums up the housekeeping. Hey, Ranty. You hear us? No sound.
I think Ranty's PC. Ranty, I think your PC's updated and it's turned everybody's microphone volume right down.
I heard him, but very low.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. We hear you. I'll just turn you up.
I've just joined from Edinburgh. I'm on holiday.
Oh, did you get the train okay?
Yes, just managed to catch it in time.
Nice.
Bloody freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm going on mute. I'm just placeholding and listening to you guys.
Maybe call for you to pipe up at some point, Ranty. Don't get too comfortable.
Is there any chance that you guys could explain the second law of thermodynamics by any chance? Because you mentioned it, but you don't I haven't heard it in detail, and I know what it is as far as entropy, but can you explain how that works with gas pressure?
Yeah, it would dissipate. Entropy means that it would flow into the easiest place to flow into. Hot flows
Nathan,
cold.
get your Walter Bislin, not your Walter Bislin, your Walter Lewin, PhD guy on the board. Get that video up and just present that.
Okay.
Because if you say it, people won't accept it. But if a PhD in physics says it, then hopefully people should understand it. You shut up.
Meow. No such thing. How dare you?
Get in there now.
My show.
1, 2, 2.5. Get in there. Come on. Get in there. 1.
So it is energy and molecules, right? So for entropy, what is it? The molecules cannot escape or enter, but energy can be transferred. For energy to be transferred, it doesn't have to be open, but for matter to travel, it has to be open. I'm kind of struggling.
Everything tries to equilibralize.
Yeah, I was just going to say it just means equilibrium.
Yeah. Hot goes to cold, pressure goes to non-pressure. You can't have a pressurized system next to a non-pressurized system without some form of barrier. It's like trying to blow your tire up on your car, but without having a tire. You ain't going to get 30 psi in that area that sits around the rim of the wheel without having the tire. And if you think that you can do that, or you think that gravity is the thing that keeps the atmosphere on, prove that thing. And there's a citation called the Cavendish experiment, but unfortunately they don't prove it within the scientific method because they fail to manipulate your independent variable. And of course your independent variable is your cause in a scientific experiment. It's only non-science or pseudoscience if you don't do
Some
that.
people. This is an.
So this is the second law of thermodynamics. So what I was describing is entropy. Entropy is the exchange of matter and energy. Is that it? Something like that?
From hundreds of MIT courses. Visit MIT OpenCourseWare at ocw.mit.edu.
All right, let's try another pretty simple process. Let's just take a gas in some volume, V, and over here is going to be vacuum of equal volume, and we're going to remove the barrier. You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available, right? You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available. And we're going to remove the barrier. The gas is going to fill the available volume. Take a gas, and over here is going to be vacuum, and we're going to remove the barrier. You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume, fill the available volume, fill the available volume, fill the available volume.
So if you think that somehow gas can do this without some kind of barrier, you're going to have to prove the force that you claim is pulling it back. And we know that there is no evidence for this.
I guess that's what I don't understand is because like a vacuum doesn't really exist. It has to be created, right? I mean, it's just the lack of pressure.
Correct.
You're removing pressure at that point, right?
Correct.
So if there is a vacuum of space, where is it removing the pressure from?
Not. It's just a nonsense.
Yeah, it just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it makes no sense to anybody. If you honestly believe that there's this thing called gravity, that's all right. You can believe that. But you've got to prove it. Or accept that it's a belief devoid of evidence. And that's exactly all it is. Devoid of evidence.
The other thing I was curious about is like if you have a compressor, like an air compressor, and it's empty, which is it's not really empty, but it's not like pressurized at that point. Does it weigh more or does it weigh less, depending on the pressure inside of it?
It should weigh more, shouldn't it, when it's got stuff in it? Not sure how they would weigh it though.
Right. So do they take that into account for, I mean, have they weighed the Earth? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's what Cavendish did. He calculated the density of the Earth. Of course, they all claim that it proves that gravity is a thing, but they've got no evidence to prove that gravity is actually a thing. But they believe it. But they
scientific evidence.
They claim that Cavendish proved gravity, but Cavendish calculated the density of the Earth, and they all have this bit wrong. It's a misinterpretation or a citation of something that didn't actually happen. Indeed. Cavendish didn't prove gravity.
It's because of this Cavendish equation
assumed that gravity, literally.
You assumed gravity. That's right.
Is it because of this Cavendish, equation that they are able to measure the weight of all the planets and all that shit?
Yes, absolutely correct.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Which is silly because you can't take Earth, which is silly because you can't take Earth, which is silly because you can't take Earth-based observations and directly apply them to everything else. I mean, how's that possible?
Yeah, it's nonsense, mate. It's embarrassing, but people like the Rumpus and Slice Barcane tell people that these things are true. I mean, I had Slice telling me last night that he'd modelled something out, right? And he hadn't put any atmosphere in it. It was just a model based on the Earth, but without any atmosphere whatsoever. And when I asked him what would the effect of the atmosphere be, he told me that it would be about a pixel. But when we talked to the Rumpus about atmospheric refraction,
need one more panel member.
Hold on.
He bends it into anything he wants.
Anthony,
yeah.
Can you just keep it out of the back chat? We're getting trolled.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Rumpus.
Hello, Rumpus.
Goody. Good morning.
Should we kick Rumpus because he is the troll?
No.
Don't kick him immediately.
I've got some information for you, actually, Anthony, you might be interested in. I'm doing a hangout with Conspiracy Cats tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock about your his observation and his pal's observation of Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier, and we're going to go into the analysis that you did as well.
Have you finished your website yet?
I haven't.
No, you haven't.
No, not very nearly, but I'm just about perky enough to do it.
99% finished now, or
98.5? 98.5.
Rumpus,
So a school teacher and a troll. So a school teacher and a troll.
You are a disgrace.
How am I a disgrace? Sorry, someone's over talking you, Anthony. Why am I
for that long, Rumpus, that we've forgotten about it? That's how long it's been.
Yeah, well, I've had a few ups and I've had a bit of a rather strange combinations of ill parents and all sorts of things that have interfered with my time. So I'm having a rather severe cold for the last 2 months anyway. But that seems everything's all under control now, so should be back to doing something. But anyway, as you may recall, Anthony, I had the results of the thing before you even showed me the video. I actually told you would see compression and what was the other thing I predicted about it? God, I've forgotten now. I've got that in my document. I've forgotten it. And I made that before you made the video available. And on the both predictions I predicted, I was absolutely right when you got around to showing it. So there we go.
The predictions are all fine and good, but you still have to explain how you can bring land back that's 700 feet behind the curvature of the Earth.
It's not 700 feet. No, it's not. There's not that. There's not a difference of 700 feet that's required. But there is. If you use the conventional 7/6 calculation, it's not enough to bring it visible in this. What you saw was more. The Earth curve calculator could not account for what you saw.
No,
correct. But it wasn't 700 feet difference. But you are right in saying, right in suggesting, although you didn't say explicitly, the Earth curve calculator would not have suggested that you could have seen what you did see, and what you did see was.
What do you mean we didn't say that expressly? Of course we did. We said that over and over and over and over and over and over again.
No, I know you did. I'm sorry. I'm just saying that last sentence you didn't. That's all. Yes, I'm saying you. Yes. So in general you said it, but you just didn't have to say it then. I just happened to make the absolutely clear what the situation was. You're saying that the Earth curve calculator couldn't account for your observation, and that is correct.
Right. So you're going to then argue that this is a loomed up image of something that we say is a tangible object. We see it, right?
It is a tangible object, yeah.
Oh, so it's not loomed up then?
Well, everything that you see is affected by refraction in some shape or form. It's everything is you don't see everything literally. We're not in a vacuum, Anthony. So you see everything change slightly.
Sorry, that wasn't his question.
Well, it is loomed up, yes.
So it's not tangible. It's an aberration.
Well, all light is not a tangible thing. So if you want to say what comes into your eye is light.
Hold on. Let's just turn my camera on. This is a mouse. Yep. This is a real, tangible object. It doesn't require me to justify it with any slightly looming non-standard refraction. It is just a mouse.
Yeah, well, this is a bit of a simpler. I've almost finished it, so...
like I said, we've heard it all before.
Yeah, but the other project was much bigger.
Not really.
So,
yes,
Rumpus,
we just see it.
Hold on. Why are we moving past this point? So, I don't have to justify my mouse, right? My mouse is just a physical object that I can see. So why is it that suddenly we have to decide whether or not this is a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena?
Well, if you were wearing virtual goggles or something, it wouldn't be something you're seeing. It'd be something being fed into you.
What are you talking about?
Everything you see is effectively a mirage. Light is coming to eyes. It could be affected by all sorts of strange.
Let's just shut him up again. Let's just do it again. Here is my mouse. It is a mouse. I can look at it and say mouse. Now, if I look out my window, I can look at a tree and say tree. The fact that it's about 10 or 15 yards away doesn't change the fact that it's still there and it's still a tree. Now, if I look at a boat that's, I don't know, a mile away, I can still just say boat. And when I look at this land, I can still just say land. There is absolutely no necessity.
Is something being reflected in the background?
So you're being an idiot, Nathan.
Sorry, there's no necessity to decide that it's a
Listen
hologrammatic
to what I'm saying
effect.
to you. If it was a mirror, you wouldn't be seeing where it was, would
Rumpus,
you idiot?
I'm going to give you one last chance. You do not talk over me here.
Well, don't be an idiot.
Excuse me, I will finish my point. There is absolutely no necessity whatsoever to decide arbitrarily that something that we see isn't really there, isn't really tangible, because you dictate that we should. There's no necessity at all.
Yes, there is.
Anthony, do you have that fallacy to hand?
Which one would you like?
We know light refracts. It's not where you're
Rumpus, your name is not Anthony. Your name isn't Anthony. Anthony.
Is it the one we spoke about at the beginning of the show?
False concreteness, I think it's called.
So, Rumpus, can you see my screen?
Okay, let me have a look. Yes, I can.
The fallacy of misplaced concreteness.
What about it?
According to Alfred North Whitehead, one commits the fallacy of misplaced concreteness when one mistakes an abstract belief, opinion, or concept. And I'll say that this is looming about the way things are for a physical or concrete reality, which is what we see. We do see a physical, concrete reality, and you're describing it as a concept. And we say no.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're describing it specifically as looming. When asked if tangible, you gave us a load of word salad, only to eventually concede that it isn't really there.
Right.
Excuse me,
in
again,
the real
I
world,
hadn't finished my sentence.
And it bends
right, Rumpus, last
chance,
and you get kicked out. Last chance.
Well, don't interrupt me.
I was talking, you interrupted me.
No, I was talking.
Okay, right, I'm not going to have this fucking argument with you. Piss off.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Get out. That's where it begins, usually, where Rumpus decides that rather than discussing whether or not we're getting to actually make the point, it's who's interrupted who. Hello, Maldara. Hello?
Hello. Madara. Uchina.
No, that's just my different name. I'd like to formally introduce myself. My name is Onyekul. I am just a normal guy that do normal work and do normal research. I'm here to discuss the shape of Earth.
You're in the right place.
There we go. So, where do you want to begin?
Well, we were just going through a fallacy of mistaking real things for concepts. Like land that we see. There's no need to call that land a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena just because you have a reification of a globe model, which you think is real. So therefore it must be a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena because a calculator says we can't see it, even though it's in the bloody photograph. A bit like this lighthouse that's also on screen right now. It is there. We do see it. We as flat earthers need given any explanation whatsoever for seeing something. We just see it, like my mouse, like a tree, like a boat, like a bit of land. No explanation needed. Obviously and observably flat. You guys need to tell us that a model needs to be used, that we need to explain it with looming, that it's not really there. Utter nonsense.
Well, Nathan, can I just ask this Madara? What side of the fence are you on? Are you a flat earther or are you a ball earther?
Based on the research that I have done on both sides, I realized that there's a certain thing that doesn't really add up on a flat earth. They add up on a round earth, but it doesn't really add up on flat earth.
Right, you're coming through bad for me. Is he coming through bad for other people?
No.
He's
It's a little hard to understand.
Clear enough.
I can understand.
So, what kind of number? You said you do numbers. What kind of numbers? What do you mean
I
by
said
that?
research.
Oh, okay.
Statistical research?
But he said he found things that doesn't work in the flat Earth, but do work in the spherical Earth. That's why he's still in the side of the spherical Earth, right?
Yes, correct.
Can you give an example on what does not work in the flat Earth?
There are many things that doesn't really work on a flat earth to me. Mostly the lunar and solar eclipse, the polar stars, name a few, and certain things that have to do with, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you'll see the moon right side up, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, you'll see the moon upside down. So those type of stuff doesn't really work on a flat earth.
I really.
So hold on. So the intangibles, right? The lights in the sky.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So, what's your claim that proves a globe? You think that what was it you said, the eclipses or the pole star? Pick one. Tell me how it proves a globe.
The eclipse. The solar and lunar eclipse.
Explain how that proves a globe.
Let me explain, please.
So we need to look up to know where we stand.
Hold on, Ranty.
Let him.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Explain how that proves a globe.
Alright, so according to flat earth people, well, most of them, they always say that the moon and the sun is in the same level in the sky.
No, sorry, you misheard me. Sorry, stop.
Nobody says that. Nobody says that.
Stop.
Then
I didn't ask you for a straw man argument about what flat earthers think. I'll say it once more. Please explain to me how the eclipses prove we are on a sphere.
in order for eclipse to work, the moon have to be in front of the sun at all times to the earth. According to how physics work, the lunar eclipse should work where the sun get intercepted by the earth and then reflects on the moon. That's why we don't see the moon in that situation. And that sort of stuff will really not work on a flat earth, because the moon would then have to be under the earth in order for that to work.
Sorry, you are affirming the consequent. That's a formal logical fallacy.
Oh boy. It's not a fallacy.
If the Earth is a sphere, we will observe eclipses that perform whatever you've just described them as. We do just see eclipses however you've just described them. Therefore, the Earth is a sphere. It's a standard, usual globe head assumption that starts with your outcome. You even said, when defining it originally, the word hemisphere. So, if you've got a hemisphere, you're automatically assuming that you're travelling to the bottom of a ball. You're not proving it, you're assuming it. That's why you use the word hemisphere.
No, that's not why I used it. It's because I've known it. I've gone to North America and I've gone to South America, and the sun and the sky are two different places at that time. When I'm in North America, the sun is more south, and when I'm in South America, the sun is more up to the north.
Sorry, my kid was making a lot of noise. Can you repeat that?
I have been to both North America and South America. North America in the northern hemisphere.
You've done it again.
South America.
You've done it again. You've done it again. I've just said this to you. By using the word hemisphere, you're not proving that you're on a sphere. You're automatically assuming that when you go south, you're travelling to the bottom of a sphere. You're not proving anything. You're assuming it. Do you not understand that? The word hemisphere denotes you travelling automatically to the bottom of a sphere to have a look at something. So how do you feel that assuming you're travelling to a hemisphere proves something? It doesn't. You're just assuming you're on a ball automatically.
I also don't believe that you've done research on the flat earth side to be using that argument. That's kind of weak. You obviously haven't researched it.
No.
That's assumptions. That's two assumptions you two made a while ago.
No, that's
You made-
experience.
You just said that
Experience.
that because you see the sun in a different place from below the equator and above the equator, that is what proves that you're on a ball. But you obviously haven't looked into the flat Earth model on that, or the theory on that, because that's not true. That's not what we. That doesn't make any sense, because the sun is small and close.
No offense, but this guy's a baller, and he's claiming he's got ball proof, and his misrepresentation of the flat Earth bothers me not in the slightest. Ultimately speaking, this is not a globe proof. It's actually a logical fallacy that you just don't understand yet. So I'll say it once more. You are automatically assuming that when you travel to look at these things, you have travelled on a ball. That is your automatic assumption, proven by your use of the word hemisphere. So you know you're on a sphere when you travel to look at them, correct?
Based on the flat Earth is the exact same.
You're now ignoring my point and moving across to a new straw man. Listen, you're going to really annoy me really fast. I've just explained to you your logical fallacy that you think proves a ball, and it doesn't. Let's not move on to what you think the flat earthers think. Let's get some acceptance. What you are saying is not proof of a ball. You are telling us that you are automatically assuming that you are going to travel to the bottom of a ball to have a little look at something. So you're not proving it, you're assuming it.
So you're saying because I traveled down, I am not really traveling down, right?
How the hell do you know? Sorry, south on a compass, does it point down?
Yes.
No, it doesn't. It points outwards. Are you an idiot? Have you ever looked at a compass?
The needle bends downwards.
Sorry, have you ever looked at a compass?
Yes.
Does south point down?
At the gyroscope.
Sorry, does south point down on a compass? Not a gyroscope, a compass.
Yes, but we are on.
No!
Stop, Chonji. Stop,
Sorry,
Chonji.
no.
That's Chonji.
No.
Chonji.
No. We are talking about compasses. And you're saying, yes, south points down on a compass. No, it doesn't. Why would you make such a stupid assertion?
It's not an assertion. It's
it is.
Fact you know how to use a compass.
I ask if it points down. You say yes. No, it doesn't.
It's something that if you don't know to use it, you're going to claim that it doesn't work.
Sorry, I'm not claiming anything. I asked if south pointed down.
And I said yes.
It doesn't.
But because we're on the Earth, it seems like...
Oh, on the Earth. So you're automatically assuming that south is down. That would be your assumption. My point.
You are assuming that it doesn't point down.
Excuse me.
It points
That
towards
is,
south.
Owen! That is called an argument from ignorance fallacy. Getting me to prove something that doesn't exist. So let's not reverse the burden of proof. Be a man and accept your fallacious reasoning. Now it's been pointed out to you. I'm going to do it for a third time. You have automatically assumed that when you travel out that direction... I've got to put my camera on. You're travelling that way. You have assumed that that's down. It isn't.
Alright, so based on your saying, you're saying that by right, the compass should be pointing down.
Not should be doing... Listen up, dickhead. I'm not saying it should... Why are you putting words in my mouth? Did I say that it should point down? I asked with a question mark at the end, does it point down? And you said yes. Wrong. 3 times. Cognitive dissonance much? It doesn't point down. That's your assumption that you're on a ball. The point I am making. It seems very typical, because you believe in a globe, that we have to drag you kicking and screaming into concession of this point. Your logical fallacy that's now going to get pointed out for the 4th time. You have automatically assumed that you are travelling to the bottom of a ball. In your example. It does not prove a ball. It proves you can beg the question, that you are a fallacious reasoner, that you use logical fallacy rather than evidence and proof. So your example, sir, does not prove a ball. Do I need to say that 5 times, or will you now concede your fallacious reasoning?
Alright, so you win that. I'll give you that win. Good? Okay? Now, do you know about
hang on,
Lake
hang on, it's not a Nathan win. It's a concession on your side.
That you lost. That you had asserted.
It's a concession.
Yeah, you asserted nonsense.
Just losers.
Yeah, you asserted nonsense. You asserted nonsense.
Right.
I picked that nonsense apart. So you were wrong. Maybe apologise for your error, for wasting our time with nonsense that I've had to explain to you 5 times to get you to concede that I win. No, you were wrong. You were using logical fallacy and not evidence. Maybe apologise to all of the audience. You're now interrupting me. You have used fallacious reasoning and misled the audience and the panel. I've had to point it out to you 5 times. So don't say I've won. Say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I used fallacious reasoning to come to an incorrect conclusion that I assume because I've got a religious belief in it.
I'm sorry I'm wrong that you don't understand.
Excuse me, I do understand. I understand logical fallacy. That if you assume your outcome, you are not proving anything, you utter muppet.
It's a common mistake of the humankind race. Because they don't understand something, they'll obviously claim it's fake.
Sorry, explain.
All the time.
Really? Let's test
yeah.
Let's test you then. So explain to me how the logical fallacy you have used was formulated.
What I'm saying is correct.
Oh, really? That's not formulating the fallacy I've pointed out to you 5 times now, is it? That's just telling me you're correct. You're not. That's why I've taken you through it 5 times. You've conceded and now you're claiming you're correct.
I've conceded because I know that no matter how hard I try to explain, I'll never get it.
Well, explain to me how you're proving a bull by assuming it to be the case in the first instance. That's not good logic. That's logical fallacy. 6 times. How many more times? Are you brain dead? Slow? Retarded? What's your problem? Why am I having to explain it? Give me a reason why I'm wrong. Not I'm right,
because
which is what
you're
you've done.
looking at it at the point of view on the earth. I'm talking about in the natural aspect of things, it's pointing down. But you don't get that.
What?
That didn't even make sense. Explain to me how you're not assuming your outcome when you tell me that you're travelling to the southern bloody hemisphere. That is assuming your outcome. If you think I'm wrong, tell me how.
I've told you.
No, you haven't. That's another baller tactic. To say, I've told you. You've done nothing. You've made a mistake. You haven't got a proof of a ball. You've got logical fallacy. It's been pointed out to you 6 times. What's your problem?
I have told you. I have proven it to you, but you don't really want on it.
Oh, okay. Explain it to me again.
Yourself, it's not the heavenly
No.
body.
It's all right, Owen. Prove it to us again. Take us through it.
As I said, in the natural aspect of the earth, it is pointing down, viewing it from off the earth. When we are on the earth, to how big it is and to how we are standing on it, it doesn't really look like it's pointing down.
Listen. When you use a compass, you hold it level, right? You hold it level to the ground, right?
Yes.
And if you point up and you point down, when you're standing there using your compass, up is up and down is down. Do you realize what you're doing when you point up and down there? And then if you point in the direction of north and south, are you pointing in the same direction as up and down?
No, he's not.
No, but that is exactly what I'm talking about. I just explained about it, but you don't.
That's not what you're talking about. That's the opposite of what you're talking about. We're pointing out how south isn't up or down. It's out. And you're saying, no, if I decide that the earth is a sphere, then it's down. Exactly our point. You're telling us to assume it, and therefore you're right, because if we assume it also, like you.
Your flat earth concept is based on assumption. Your flat earth concept is based
You're still not saying I'm really sorry. Yeah, I've used fallacious reasoning. Yeah, I haven't proven a sphere. Yeah, I've said about 3 or 4 times that I'm just right after conceding. So we're moving on, are we? No, we're going to torture you with your logical fallacy. You're wrong. You have not got a proof of a ball. And once you concede, we'll ask you for a different proof. Because that one was crap. It didn't prove a thing. And I've had to spend 6 times with a moron explaining where the fallacy sits. With you saying, no, I'm just right because I assume a ball first. Our very point. You're just retarded.
It's not wrong. It's just you just deciding not to accept anything.
No, I'm deciding not to accept your presupposition of a ball.
I've explained it and can't understand it. That's so simple.
Okay, it's me that's thick.
You don't
I'm
understand the
sorry.
difference between
I don't understand how to beg the question and assume I'm on a sphere. This is really my problem.
Oh boy.
I don't understand how to beg the question. It's really me that's stupid. Is that what you're saying?
All right. Let me point it out a little bit more simple. We are on the Earth. Picture yourself on the Earth, and you can see the flat plane, right?
Sorry, what shape is that Earth?
The Earth is round.
So we're automatically, in this example, doing exactly my point. So you're going to start out your point by literally pissing in my face the example I've taken you through now 7 times. You have just said to us, let's assume we're on a sphere Earth. So your example literally starts with you telling us that you're going to be begging the question with this example. Unbelievable retard. You unbelievable retard. Your example started by telling us that you're going to beg the question. You idiot.
I think you know what I was going to do.
You said, let's start by assuming we're on the Earth. And I said, what shape is it? And you said, round.
Will you let me explain now?
What? Huh? That you can beg the question? We know!
You don't know. You know that if I ever say what I
man. I do know, man. I know you're a retard, man. You hear me, brethren? You are a retard. You are a retard, man. Go get some education.
Bumbleclat. Good one.
Yeah, man. I get it, man. I get your logical fallacy, man. You're a retard. Now go fuck yourself. Get out my hangout, man.
You're a bitch. You can't take it. You
That's
really can't.
Rejection,
take it,
my friend. You've
because
just been beaten.
You've
just been beaten.
Evidence, no thing of that to back up your bullshit claim. You're deciding.
Bye-bye. You were beaten. I'm not going to spend 10 times going through a logical fallacy with a retard. 7 is enough.
Wow.
I'm not saying this guy is Shonji, but Shonji used to, in quotes, be a flat earther for a little while, and then he's go back to the ball. He's chatting a lot with the Discord, and he sound very much like him. Very much the sound of the voice like him. So he might have been here just to troll around.
Hey, Zinder.
Hey.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Hey, P.
I think that was fun, though.
Good to have you. Oh, we've got Sniper in.
Wow.
Getting a bit of a musical chairs with the panel. Oh, Jesus. Right, it's going to be a short intermission. Sniper's on the show, hun. I know, sausage. It's okay. We'll have it sorted soon. Those nasty snipers. It wouldn't be the 666 zero if we didn't get sniped. Par for the course. Right, we're back in business. Hopefully my guests won't lose patience and will actually rejoin. Let's see. So if you're in Skype, keep your eye out, and the link's going out now. As people are already talking about it in Skype. Oh no, I've been sniped. Yeah. Clearly these assholes sent here just to waste time. When I've had enough of them and kick them out, they think, right, you're not allowed to kick them out. They're allowed to waste as much time as they like. Well, I've said it a couple of weeks back. I'm tired of it. Tired of people coming in and saying the same thing 15 times. Hey, Eric.
Hey. Hey, why don't you use that OBS? Like they said, Vegan Goy, he's got it all figured out. Pete Shea's pretty good at it.
Oh, I do use OBS.
Somebody got butt.
Hey.
Jose, Karen, hola.
Hello.
Hey. It was Plain Truth's dodgy account, wasn't it, that removed everyone?
Ah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I didn't spot it.
Such noble winners these folks are, aren't they? Such noble.
Yeah.
Noble folk.
I don't know. It's just like every other globe head. You know, they don't want to concede. Even when they do concede, they immediately double back and say, no, they haven't. I'm just right, you don't get it. Pathetic.
Indeed.
Captain Caps Lock's going to join as a placeholder, so don't kick him.
Okay. I'll stick the link out as soon as we've got a couple more people on the panel.
Yeah, I
So we can do
wanted
that
to
dance
give
again.
some... Sorry.
Sorry, it's
I
okay.
was-
When I was done.
You know, I do have to say, and I actually like P. Mars, but
Thanks.
when he did come in and we got sniped. I don't know if somebody follows him or what, but I don't know.
P. Mars is a jerk.
I
I
have
like-
P. Mars blocked.
Yeah, we shouldn't encourage P. Mars to come in. Like, ever.
He joins on side
I know Nathan's got a soft spot for him for some reason, but
I do
don't make it a good idea.
If it wasn't for P. Mars, this show wouldn't exist.
If it wasn't for P. Mars, what?
This show wouldn't exist.
That doesn't give him a carte blanche to be a dick, though.
Oh,
It doesn't-
is
no,
that
it
the real
doesn't.
you?
Is that
Yeah.
yes. No, it doesn't give him carte blanche to be a dick, and I kick him out same as anybody else when they're being a dick. But he's all a welcome. P. Mars included. You know, he'll be a dick, swear, and I'll still welcome him back on the next show, but that would be true for anybody.
Apart from Mr. Grimby. And Chris MCM.
There's a couple of exceptions. Chris MCM is one of two people that I won't let back on the panel.
Hey, Karen. I saw
Yes.
your interview thing. It was not exactly what I expected, but what did you do? You basically had a voiceover of the questions they asked? Or
Yeah, because when I recorded the interview myself on my cell phone, because I was in a radio studio and I had headphones on, you can't hear the interviewer. So I added it back in myself so that people could watch it without having to watch the screen for text.
Right. It was kind of weird because especially at the end, there seemed to be a lot of tension coming in the questions, but yeah, it was very casually spoken. So it was kind of odd. But there was some friction between the interviewer and you, or
Well, there was no friction on my end, but you know, they kept asking me the same. They repeated the same questions, just worded differently. Like they kept trying to get me to. I felt like they were really trying to get me to say something stupid. Like they kept expecting me to say something outlandish, but I didn't.
it was pretty cool, very elaborate. So awesome. You think it's gonna be airing at some point, or what do you think?
Well, it was for BBC Radio. It wasn't for the television network.
Ah, right. Radio broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an excellent interview. Kudos.
Thank you.
I think the last two interviews that have been pretty good is yours, the last one, Karen, and the Bob Nuttall one. They did a good job with the Bob Nuttall interview.
Yeah, Bob always does a good job. I wish they would release his whole interview. Because he said that he talked to them for about an hour too, but they didn't release all of it.
They did, what, like a 2.5 minutes?
Does anybody know how
Yeah.
to stop a dog from whimpering? He's meowing like a cat because I won't. There's dogs downstairs that he wants to go and play with, but when he goes down, he grumbles and growls. So he has to come up here because he's being a dick. And when he comes up here, he meows because he wants to go down and play with them. But when you let him down, he starts growling. He's a dick.
scratch his belly.
Yeah. Kick his ass.
Well, does he stay that way? Like, have you ever tried out to just let him do that, or does he
No,
just
but
keep on
when
doing
you
that
have them
forever?
growling at each other, it's a sign of I'm going to fight, isn't it? And he's
No,
not
not
growling because he's excited.
No, but he could be growling because of there's a social tension. Doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a fight. They could just be like having an uneasy relationship.
Yeah,
But they need to work it out, just like people need to work that out.
I do agree. I just don't want to keep telling him, pack it in, pack it in, pack it in, because it's just like talking to a baller.
Well, maybe
No gravity, no gravity, no gravity.
Well, maybe you don't need to do that. Maybe you just need to let him do what he does and just make sure that there's no actual fight breaking out. And that's it. Just leave him to it.
I'm just sick of him being a miserable old man. He's 13, you see, so he's got grumpy old man syndrome.
Hey, Ranty.
Hello, P-Mars again.
Yeah.
That's the last 4 hangouts he's been on. As soon as he's joined, he's sniped the panel.
Yeah. It
It's
was done in the
definitely
name of
P-Mars.
playing Truth's dodgy account, which I'm sure that P-Mars isn't going to admit to having, but
It's
circumstantial evidence is always a bit of a bitch, P-Mars, I'm afraid.
I'm not going to automatically assume it's P-Mars. He joined and just sat there. I didn't see him furiously clicking. He was just sat in his chair.
The last 4 times it's been sniped, within 1 minute of him joining and saying something, this panel's been sniped. Can't be coincidence.
I don't know.
I would expect Pete to just tell me, although he has recently.
I do. I've seen that pattern as well. So I don't know. I actually like P-Mars now. So I just don't know. It's
really, you like P-Mars?
In a way, he's got some good sides.
I agree. I like P-Mars. I know you all hate him.
No,
I just think he's a dick.
Oh, Mike.
Oh.
We've already got a sniper in. Shout out to Shatner's Bassoon. Thank you very much for the super chat. Hopefully we'll keep the show running. UKPI, how you doing? Hello?
That's a sniper. That's him. Because he was coming in right around P.
No, UKPI generally is just a baller. Unless it is actually someone trying to manipulate him.
He popped in right around when P shaded, so I don't know if not P shade, P-Mars.
Can you say hello, UKPI? We have spoken to him before.
I sniped him. Sorry, you said he was a sniper, so.
Blame is here now.
I'm just going to dance the dance with snipers till the end of show 666, clearly.
Daniel
There's
Brooks,
another
is
one.
that you?
Daniel.
Hey, don't mute.
I think Daniel.
What?
Hey, Daniel. Good to have you.
Yeah, we got a full panel.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hooray. Breathe easy again. The show link was only out for about a minute, and then before you know it, it's like obviously someone sat over that link refreshing their page waiting to get the new link.
It's the weekend, isn't it?
I could put the boxes up if we've got a full panel. Happy days.
Hey Nathan, guess who Liverpool are playing today?
Birmingham City?
Man United.
It's
actually, I think it's tomorrow.
Super exciting.
Yeah, Liverpool play United tomorrow at 4 p.m. Good match. So, where were we?
I was going to talk a little bit about Jaren's encounter with the PhD yesterday. If anybody objects, please say so now.
Do you know, it was terrible because there were like 5 shows on yesterday, depending on which person you appreciate the most. You had to choose literally one of 5, and they were all doing it at the same time. There was Patricia Steer, there was Iron Realm Media, there was I can't remember who the other ones were now, but there was like 5.
Martin Leakey.
Oh my god!
Martin Leakey was on Jaren.
Yeah, Jaren, Nathan, Jaren, Iron Realm Media. Antonio was on as well. I thought he'd retired.
Yeah, Martin Leakey.
Yeah, Martin was on.
Still around.
Who else was
Iron
on?
Realm Media.
It's crazy. There were so many people on all at once, and no, I didn't get a chance to watch Jaren. I'm going to go back and watch Jaren.
So it wasn't a debate so much as a conversation, and the guy seemed very admirable. Jaren got more heated than needed, if anything. But that's good. That's just passion, and I like it. But ultimately speaking, towards the end of the show, I mean, I'm either too poor or too tight. Pick pick your poison, to super chat a question, but I was spamming the chat with my question that I wanted to ask, which was just the specifics of the conversation are irrelevant, but they were talking about axial rotation, and I was just spamming the chat going, what's his scientific evidence of axial rotation? So early on in the show, he explained, science has a method and it's great. It's useful, it proves things, etc. It's all tied down nicely. I was like, great. So this guy understands that science, in the truest sense of the word, is useful. It proves things. Great. So we're all on track. And then as the show progressed, it was more about beliefs and pseudoscience, astrophysics. And you're like, okay, well, isn't this going to be hinging around your scientific evidence of what you believe the world is? And that's all it is, a belief. So anyway, somebody in the chat was kind enough to put a $5 super chat in with that exact question, and even credit me with it. They were like, ask him what his scientific evidence is for axial rotation from Nathan Oakley 1980. And that was someone else's super chat. And I was like, oh, thanks very much. Because at the end of the show, he did read it, Jaron. And the guy responded. He was like, yes, I will return, and I will bring scientific evidence. I was like, absolutely excellent. So let's get it established what scientific evidence actually is. Well, science studies the physical and natural world. Scientific evidence would be evidence based on a hypothesis that's been systematically experimented upon to prove you have established your cause of your natural phenomena that you observed in the natural world. So, hopefully, I doubt it, but let's all cross our fingers, Jaron's PhD buddy will come back with an observed phenomena, otherwise known as a dependent variable, a cause of that observed phenomena, that would be known as an independent variable that's been verified by systematic experimentation. So let's hope he actually gives us some evidence from the physical and natural world, otherwise known as things studied by science, because that's what he's claimed he's going to bring. So I'm rubbing my hands together going, excellent. Let's see what science this PhD brings. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Because he hasn't got any. We all know it. Everyone on the panel knows it. Hopefully, 50% of the audience know it. He doesn't have any scientific evidence. Axial rotation? Oh, right. Let's see you manipulate the independent variable for that little chestnut.
Yeah, the one thing that he made a claim for that was driving me nuts was that he assumes that because our bodies don't sense motion, they must not be calibrated to do so. So he's assuming there is motion, but since we don't sense it with our bodies aren't obviously sensitive enough, and that was just driving me nuts.
Hey, did you pick up on the fact that he believes the science of multi-genders, where he said, Jaron, you have kids, he, she, they, them, zer. So, I mean, you're not dealing with a guy that just believes that he's on a ball.
Oh, I didn't catch that. So he's a proper cuck then?
Don't know.
No one wants to touch that with a badge pole, clearly, Eric.
Well, you're dealing with somebody that just fits into so many things. You're not dealing with somebody that just believes they live on a ball. So I think a lot of flat earthers, when you're arguing with ballers, you just not taking into account a lot of crap they believe in. So that's my view. He, she, they, them, zer, zed, whatever these names are.
Anybody? Nobody going to take that? Nobody? Really? Right, not Eric. 10-foot barge pole, my friend.
What, do you want me to play devil's advocate or something? What?
Oh, look, we got a sucker on the line. Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
I couldn't honestly argue that point against it because it's ridiculous. It's like you have to wonder what state their mentality's in, because it's like you're just gonna back the official narrative and claim that you've got evidence and never produce it. Well, that reminds me, I've got a debate with a PhD level physicist lined up at a particular university. I've been trying to sort something out with this particular gent, basically because, well, he got wind of something that I'm working on, and things started happening as a result, and it ended up happening. So early January, 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that, first week back after the Christmas break, I'll be having a hangout, not a hangout, a real world, like not debate. Well, it is debate, but it's in front of TV cameras, so there's no audience per se. So I've got to create my own audience by like live streaming it. I'm gonna have to take somebody with me to the university complex and basically record this debate with this physicist at PhD level. So I'll be looking forward to how he produces evidence for gravity.
And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then smash the dislike button, but then smash it again. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already on this 666 show. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!